have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hate hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of Famous Fun.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, don't forget to double check and make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel, especially if you haven't been receiving those notifications. And as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, hello, Courtney J, Dragon Lily, we the people. Sharon is here. Juju B is in the house. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. Okay. Goodness Ready Bo is here. M Shanty, Jeff ATL, Pearly, Sophie B is here. All right, Mr. Elevation, I see you. OG Patrice. Oh, so let's get into it. Andrea, 504 Nola. All right, One Muscle Power. Shout out to you, beloved. Okay, so let's get into it. Lillian X, likes up. Everyone, please like and share. I see you, Deronda. All right, so let's talk about the DNC. Let's talk about the DNC because I told you all on yesterday how they had those abortion and vasectomy trucks outside, which is all nefarious. But I have some more highlights. I'm going to get into. So likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, some of the Trumpsters were clowning the DNC. Some of them were going all in. So I'm going to share some of that footage. Also, a clip of what Oprah had to say, and Trump was none too thrilled. Because you may remember that some years ago, when it was rumored that Oprah was going to run for president, I don't know who started that rumor, but Trump talked about how, in fact, he and Oprah were good friends. Okay? And so clearly he didn't like what she had to say. With that all being said, let's get into it. Here we go.
Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on and on.
Now, unfortunately, we know what comes next. We know folks are going to do everything they can to distort her truth. My husband and I sadly know a little something about this. For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. His limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hard-working, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black. I want to know, who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
Yo, I'm not going to lie, the DNC is so like, that shit was super popping last night. DJ Cassidy killed it. Shout out to DJ Cassidy. Shout out to Lil Jon. Like, they had Lil Jon there. That shit was fire. But I was thinking Kamala should have a new slogan. It should be, let's manipulate Americans into thinking that everything is all good and everything is just funny and laughs and joke, cool ass music. And, you know, while war veterans are broke, there's so many homeless people in America and people can't afford groceries or rent or to even go out with their friends anymore and have a good time. Illegal migrants are getting so much money in food stamps, taking over our hotels and schools. People are dying in war. You know, that should be her new slogan. I think she should put that on a hat.
Damn Democrats at the DNC are crazy as hell, shouting they're not going back. Hell no, I don't want to go back to open borders, high food prices, high gas prices, high inflation, high interest rate, can't even buy a damn home. Why? I don't want to go back, Kamala. That's why I'm not voting for you. I'm voting for Donald Trump. And who in the hell had agility or the stamina to stay up all night and to listen to Joe Biden? Joe Biden and all his damn lies. That's all he did is scream. Is more louder than I'm screaming right now. Man, I got to give y'all props if y'all stayed up to watch Joe Biden. I thought that he might throw down and say something against the Democrats for orchestrating a coup against him. But no, he stayed on script line about Donald Trump and his lying ass. I'm tired of Joe Biden. I'm tired of Kamala.
Now, she was funny. She was funny and cute. Okay, with that all being said, Greta says, Kabami has said she is doing nothing for blacks, so who is there to vote for? Dr. Shiva or Cornel West. Okay, and you know, they're saying that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has dropped out or is going to drop out, and he's supposed to be backing Trump. And I find that interesting because I just told you all in last week that he allegedly wanted to have a meeting with Kamala, and so that he would promise to endorse her if she gave him a cabinet position. But Kabami never got back to him. So I guess he made a deal with Trump. Okay. I mean, talk about desperate. Okay. And another thing too, I was thinking about the clip that I played from Obama's DNC speech on yesterday. Now, he was talking about clean water and the rivers and all of that. But do you all remember this?
We invest. Can I get some water? Come on up here. I want a glass of water.
Get a bottle. Bottle water.
I want a glass of water. Everybody settle down. This is a feisty crowd. Thank you. I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
What? He wet his lips. He did not drink it. He didn't sip it. He wet his lips.
There was an audible gasp in the audience. People were just like absolutely dejected. Why would you do that?
I am sure that somewhere when I was 2 years old, I was taking a chip of paint, tasting it, and I got some lead.
Yeah, that's like talking about like, well, I didn't wear a seatbelt and I'm fine. It's like, but there were tons of people that died.
Backstage, the president, sitting at the table with the criminal governor, decided to perform his stunt all over again.
You know, generally I have not been doing stunts here, but, you know.
That's not what I expected. That's what Snyder did.
It felt like he minimized like what people are actually going through and struggling with. If you were actually lead poisoned, you would not be president. You would be janitor Barack Obama.
We were holding on to hope that he would declare a disaster area. A disaster would give us FEMA. It would give us pipe replacement, get engineers in here. Then we could get Medicare for all the residents of Flint. As soon as he took a drink of the water and said everything's fine, that was that.
And look at it, years later, it's still poison.
When he came here, it was my president, but when he left, he was not my president.
I would again go back to the president's visit last week. He reinforced the message that filtered water has been determined to be safe for people to drink.
This again was our hero, and we thought he was going to come here and help us. But they do have a mural of him, and you ride past it now and his head is busted out.
It was devastating.
Now, I wanted you all to just go back for a moment in time, because most don't remember the heartfelt remarks that those people gave, how they were so downtrodden and how they felt so bad and how they were so disappointed in Barack Hussein Obama. Okay? They said he was a hero to them. And see, that's the thing. That's what goes back to now when you have these minions, D.L. Hughley, Ricky Smiley, Roland Martin, Steve Harvey, when you have these idiots telling us to vote for Kamala because she's black. That's what happened the last time people voted for someone because they were black. They were grossly disappointed. That person didn't live up to expectations. That person didn't show any care or concern, empathy nor sympathy for black people. How do you go there where you know that children are being born with birth defects, where children are being sickened because of lead poisoning and they don't have the same mental capacity that they had to begin with? People are getting blisters and, rashes on their bodies and things like that, having all sorts of illnesses. But you want to sit there and act like the water's not that bad. And then he wants to tell a story, hypothetical story that is, because mind you, he doesn't know what he did when he was 2. And he was living with rich white folk, okay, when he was 2. So was he really living somewhere where he was going to be susceptible to eating lead? Like, please make it all make sense. Please make it all make sense. This is all so ridiculous. Okay, but I am sorry, Queen. I want to see women in power and see it be different. I mean, goodness right about, that's all fine, honey, at the end of the day. But are you that desperate to see women in power that you don't care what woman is in power? I'd like to see a woman in power too, but not one that's not going to do anything for my people, and not one who was bold enough to say it to our faces, and not one who has allowed all of these illegal immigrants to come over and flood the streets and the cities and states, and then give them all of these benefits and we get nothing. The people who've been here, born here, and likely will die here get nothing for their struggles. We have a whole homeless crisis. We have veterans who fought for this country living on the streets. And now the Supreme Court has made it illegal for people to be homeless. Like, you can literally be arrested. Okay, you can be arrested for camping out under a bridge because you have nowhere to go, for sleeping outside. Please make it all make sense. Yeah, I would like to see women in power too, but the right women, not just any woman just because she's a woman. Okay, that's obtuse to me. All right, that's obtuse to me. So at the end of the day, and that's the thing, if a woman's in charge, then what? Then what? Hold on, I'm checking something real quick. Excuse me. Yeah, listen to this. As of June 28th, 2024, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that cities can punish people for sleeping and camping in public places, which some say is a form of criminalization of homelessness. That's what this country is doing. And under the Biden administration, where Kabami was the VP. Now, this ruling gives cities more power to arrest, cite, and fine people who are homeless. And it overturned 6 years of legal protections for homeless residents in California and other Western states. Who did that? I'm sorry, Kabami and Biden did that. Okay, so I don't care about her being a woman. I don't care about them saying that she's black. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is, what are you going to do? Anyone who wants to vote for somebody just because they're a woman, or just because they're black, or just because they're this or that, without even caring, concerning yourself, or investigating, researching, or even listening to their policies, that's just obtuse. And that's just what it is. Now look at Obama sitting there drinking, and he didn't drink that water. Okay, let's just be clear. He took a sip. He didn't even take a sip. He put his lips on the glass. He wet his lips is what he did. Now, I would have loved to see him sit there and take a whole glass full and chunk it back, but he wasn't going to do that because he knew darn well that water's poison. It's still poison to this day. Okay, it's a shame that Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son, has done more for the people of Flint as it pertains to their poisoned water than Barack, than Trump, than Biden, and Kabami. I want y'all to pay attention, because Jaden put his money where his mouth was and literally took clean water down there. What did they do? They didn't do anything. Okay, they didn't do anything. And black people who foolishly think that they need to vote for people just because you're black, or just because they're a woman and all of that stuff, that's absolutely insane. That's insane at the end of the day, okay? Where's our hate crime bill? Where's anything for us? Let me continue, because I absolutely cannot. Now, listen, I want you all to hear what Representative Jasmine Crockett said at the National Democratic Convention, and then we're going to go to Trump. Dan says, Queen, that homeless ruling was brought on by the United States Supreme Court, not the administration. The Supreme Court is far right wing. At the end of the day, thank you, Dan, for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings to you. At the end of the day, the bottom line is this. Whether or not the Supreme Court brought it, I know they brought it. I just read it. But they did it during Biden's administration. And you can't tell me that Biden doesn't have a say-so. Another thing, yes, they are the law of the land. But at the end of the day, The bottom line is they've given billions to Ukraine. They've given all of this money to Israel. They've given all of these benefits, cash, food stamps, the ability to get jobs, even though they don't have proper identification or any of those things. They've given the illegal people that have flooded this country, millions of them, mind you, they've given them all sorts of benefits that they didn't give any of the people who live here. Okay, it's ridiculous that a man who fought for this country, an elder, I showed you all the footage, that he only gets $28 in food stamps a month, and he doesn't even get 100% of his benefits for being a whole veteran. Like, that's insane. Okay, so let's not try to minimize the damage that Kagame and Biden have done, because they haven't done ish. Okay, nothing significant as far as I'm concerned. All they have done is the same thing, a perpetual continuance of benign neglect. That's what it is. Nobody can make excuses for them. That's going to deter me from going in on them because they haven't done anything. That's right. All hell no. It is shameful at the end of the day. It absolutely is shameful. Okay, so like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. Okay, here we go. Let me put an overlay on this so I don't have any problems with ScrewTube.
Let's compare their resumes, shall we? One candidate worked at McDonald's while she was in college at an HBCU. HU. The other was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and helped his daddy in the family business. Housing discrimination, that is. She became a career prosecutor while he became a career criminal. With 34 felonies, 2 impeachments, and 1 porn star to prove it. Her entire career as an elected district attorney, attorney general, and senator, she's always worked for one client, the people. Meanwhile, he's a 78-year-old, lifelong predator, fraudster, and cheat, known for inciting violent mobs. Listen, y'all. He's only looked out for one person, himself. As women are dying, he is bragging about overturning Roe. And y'all know I come from Texas. And right now in Texas, come on, Texas. But right now in Texas, they want to institute the death penalty. That is a problem. While Kamala Harris is fighting for our reproductive rights to be restored. She is also the leader we need on the global stage. She helped secure the release of Americans wrongfully detained in Russia. At the same time, he cozies up to his role model, Vladimir Putin, and MAGA holds legislation hostage here at home, critical resources to secure the border, military aid to Ukraine, and even the Farm Bill. She's lived the American dream while he's been America's nightmare. America, looking at the 2 choices before you, who would you hire? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris has a resume. Donald Trump has a rap sheet. She presides over the Senate while he keeps our national secrets next to his thinking chair. Y'all know what I said that other time. In Mar-a-Lago. While Donald Trump wants to put our 1787 Constitution through his Project 2025 paper shredder and make every day January 6th, Kamala Harris is fighting to fulfill the promise of America. In the real world, this wouldn't even be close. But this election is. Don't make a mistake. We are the underdogs in this fight, even though there is only one person qualified, only one person who's done the work and who has delivered the results. And she needs you. She needs your one vote this November. Can we count on you? Some of you know a little bit of my history, some of you don't, so let me tell you. I was a public defender. I did criminal defense as well as practiced civil rights law for almost 2 decades. I know a good prosecutor when I see one. Kamala Harris is the kind of prosecutor we long for in the cases like those of Breonna Taylor. Yeah. She was the first attorney general in the nation to order that her officers wear body cams, and she started the Back on Track program to reduce recidivism. Listen, y'all, she did all these things because she genuinely cares about people. She sees each person as just that, a person, not a statistic. She's proven that since the first day she stepped into a courtroom and said what y'all already heard Hillary say. I did not copy out for her speech. I just want y'all to know. She walked into that courtroom and said, Kamala Harris for the people. And she meant that. Many of you know her credentials, but what I love about Kamala Harris goes beyond her resume, is that she sees the humanity in everyone. She's the only candidate in this race who is capable of empathy. When I first got to Congress, I wasn't sure I made the right decision. The Chaos Caucus couldn't elect a speaker, and
Okay, I've heard enough. I've heard enough, okay? So at the end of the day, everybody's been going in on Trump. Now let's go to what he had to say. Hearing what's irritating Trump after watching DNC. Lights up, everyone. Please like and share. Let's hear what this fool has to say. And actually, this is taking a second to load. So while we wait for that, let's just go to Oprah. Okay, here we go.
And it's why I'll be getting out every day to help people get out and vote on November 5th and elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as the next president and vice president of the United States.
Coach Curry.
And after the results are tallied that night, we can, in the words of the great Steph Curry, we can tell Donald Trump, night, night. Thank you.
And despite what some would have you think, we are not so different from our neighbors. When a house is on fire, we don't ask about the homeowner's race or religion. We don't wonder who their partner is or how they voted. No. We just try to do the best we can to save them. And if the place happens to belong to a childless cat lady, well, we try to get that cat out too.
All right, likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Now let's go to what Trump said when he addressed Barack and Michelle. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Here we go.
Phil Mattingly is in Asheboro, North Carolina, where Trump just wrapped up his first outdoor rally. Since his first outdoor rally as a national security.
Hold on. Let me just go past this music real quick. Hold on. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Okay, so they have music playing throughout. Okay, so I'm not going to play that. But let's talk about why Beyonce is upset with Trump. Now, we all know, I reported to you days ago, probably maybe a week or so ago, that Kabami is using Beyonce's song Freedom for her campaign. Mind you, she did get permission and she asked if it was okay. Now Beyonce threatens a cease and desist over Trump campaign's Freedom video. What was he thinking? Okay, this is just stupid. Okay, so the former president did not receive permission to use the Lemonade song in the 13-second video posted by Trump's spokesperson. So Beyonce has threatened to send a cease and desist to Trump after the campaign used her song without permission. Now, a source close to Beyonce tells Rolling Stone that the Trump campaign did not receive permission to use the Lemonade track in the 13-second video of Trump getting off of a plane in Michigan. That Trump campaign spokesperson Steve Cheung posted this on Tuesday. Now, as of press time on Wednesday, the video was still on Cheung's X account, despite her label issuing the cease and desist. So on Monday, the Harris-Walz campaign debuted a new ad soundtracked by Freedom, with actor Jeffrey Wright providing the narration. What kind of America do we want? That's what he asked. One where we're divided, angry, depressed. Come on, we're Americans. Fascism, we conquered it. The moon, landed on it. The future, building it. Freedom, nobody loves it more. So Harris has been using Freedom with Beyonce's permission since her presidential campaign began earlier this summer. Okay, so basically, after her first appearance, after securing Biden's endorsement, Harris walked out to the podium while Freedom played. And not long after her campaign dropped an official launch video, they did one for the song. Trump, meanwhile, is notorious for using music at his campaign rallies without the artist's permission, with the former president receiving pushback and more legal threats from dozens of musicians over the unauthorized usage of their songs. I don't know when Trump is going to learn. Like, this is just so stupid to me, because I just reported to you guys last week how he was being sued by Isaac Hayes' family for using a song that Isaac Hayes helped to write. Okay, so Trump just thinks he can do whatever, I guess. He's just not going to learn. All right, he's the epitome of obtuse, in my opinion. Sharon says, Kamala is not good for our country. Okay, so with that all being said, Dorada said Trump should have played Born in the USA. Well, that would have been a good song for him to play, but at the end of the day, does Bruce Springsteen really want Trump using his song either? See, that's the thing. I just think that most of these songs that he likes, the artists just don't like him. Okay? Mad Dog Jack says the DNC was nothing but an entertainment concert. Right. Linda says Trump knows that he's not going to jail. He will cease to exist before that happens. Goodness Rated Bo says, I honestly think Beyonce doesn't care anymore what Jay-Z does, just like Melania don't care what Trump does anymore. Notorious Hebrew says, why would he learn? They keep helping him get away with the BS. Well, you got that right. That's a good point. Israelite PL says, Kamala is not good for Black people, period. No, she isn't at the end of the day. And here's the thing. To the point that I was making about the Supreme Court ruling about homelessness, let me tell you something. Yes, the Supreme Court rulings are final, okay? But sometimes presidents can criticize the ruling, and presidents can, make it known that they're not in favor of that ruling. And so sometimes they may change it. They may amend it or whatever. Because who did that better than Trump? Trump did that a myriad of times, as I recall, and so did Obama. Hold on. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Okay, the president's only formal power over the Supreme Court lies with nominations at a time of vacancy. This gives the president influence over the ideological balance of the court. Now, the role of the president is to defend the law and the Constitution, which means, oh, I'm sorry, guys, I'm distracted because somebody's outside pressure washing. Okay, so the role of the presidency is to defend the law and the Constitution, which means executing Supreme Court decisions. Presidents sometimes give a hostile response to court filings. Okay, however, Barack Obama criticized the court for its Citizens United ruling, while many of them said, okay, I'm not going to read all of that. And then Trump immediately clashed with the judiciary in 2017, attacking the judge who halted the immigration ban. Now, we all know Trump had a whole lot of smoke for them over that because we know how nefarious that he can be. And so what I'm saying is this: they may not come out and tell us everything, but you think that they don't actually listen to the whole president, that if the president lets them know that they're not happy with a certain decision, you don't think they might take that into consideration? I absolutely think that they could have said something about them criminalizing homelessness, but they're not going to say anything because they're all in it together. This entire government doesn't care about homeless people. They don't care about homeless people. How many videos have I shown you all in the past where they threw away food and criminalized the people giving out the food, even locked up a 93-year-old pastor, okay, because he was feeding the homeless? This is what they do. But they'll sit there and send all of these billions of dollars over to other countries. So let's not make any excuses for their nefariousness, because that's what it is. It's excuses. And I don't need excuses. I need solutions. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear solutions, not excuses for, oh, the Supreme Court did it and they don't have anything to do with it. Yeah, they do have something to do with it. They all play a role in it. At the end of the day, it's an agenda by this own government. Okay? That's what it is. So I'm not making any excuses for the Biden administration, because whether or not they had anything to do with that ruling on the homelessness crisis, they absolutely could have expressed disdain. They could have criticized it or whatever. They could have talked to them, or they could have done something, but they didn't do anything because, as we see, look how Barack sat there and sipped that water, pretended to sip that water and acted like it was perfectly fine. Like those people who live there, which are disproportionately Black people, mind you, as if they don't have sense enough to know that the water is poison. Like it's all in their mind. This is all so crazy at the end of the day. So with that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now let's get into this fool by the name of D.L. Hughley. I want you all to pay attention, because D.L. Hughley had the nerve to say that Club Shay is messy and predatory. That's what he said. Club Shay is messy and predatory. But he said this, mind you, while he's on Vlad. And now somebody please make that make sense. If Vlad isn't messy and predatory, who is? Okay, I have several questions. D.L. Hughley. Okay, what an idiot he is. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to play some audio from that. But hold on, because let's just go back over those text messages or those tweets. That's another thing that was discussed. He's still sitting there talking about Marlon Wayans' price and all of that. Why is he talking about that still? Isn't that over and done with? Why is Vlad still being messy? What does DL call that? And the funny thing is, DL was sitting there listening to Vlad. Now, he didn't really want to say too much because he claims that he and Marlon are friends. But if that was my friend, I would have said, dog, I really don't think you should be sitting here discussing this with me or publicly. Why don't you just talk to Marlon behind closed doors? That's how I would have handled that. But DL's sitting there, well, it puts me in a funny position because, I mess with both of y'all. He is so fake and stupid. Then he had the nerve to sit there and down Club Shay while you're on Vlad. Wow, really? Make it all make sense. And I'm going to tell you like this. If Black people don't cancel Vlad after this, I don't know what to even say. Okay? I don't know what to even say. Now let's get into some of these posts. Okay, this is what Vlad posted. Vlad says, Marlon Wayans found someone with 200 followers to agree with him, LOL. Nobody on earth is going to pay Marlon $40,000 for an interview when he gets 100,000 to 300,000 views on any platform that he interviews on. This guy is delusional. Now, that's what Vlad posted. And then that's when Marlon came back and responded saying, see, at DJ Vlad, this is the moment you've been begging for. I asked you to leave me alone. Let it go. But you want to kick the bee's nest. You can't compete with me, bro. I am a legend. And occasionally I come off my throne to spar with peons like you. Keep going. There's levels to this ish. And see, that wasn't enough. Vlad just has to keep running his mouth. So I'm just amazed at how DL can imply that Shannon Sharp is the one being messy. Okay, and then Vlad comes back and says, not mad at all. Hold on. He comes back and says, not mad at all. I find this all amusing because you really think that you're worth $40K for an interview. I said, there's nobody on earth that will pay you that, and I have yet to be proven wrong. Throwing out a stupid ass number for an interview is unprofessional, my guy, because your interviews don't even make 5% of that on every 5% of that on every platform you do. And bringing up race when there was no mention of it throughout all of our discussions shows how weak of a man you are. And I guess he's implying that Marlon brought up race when Marlon told him that he's not liked by the urban community. Okay. And then Vlad says, even 1 million views is about 5K. Nowhere near the 40K he asked for. And he wanted 30% on top of the 40K. Like I said, delusional. Now I just want you to pay attention. This is whose show DL is on. And then this is where Marlon said, I think this is where he was implied that Marlon brought up race when he says, hey, at DJ Vlad, you are way too hated by the urban community to F with me. I'm loved. You ain't. Watch the video. Where's your face? Okay. Mad you couldn't exploit me? How much the government paying you, Brody? Hope it's at least 40K. So they went on and on, you know, still having this back and forth, like I said. And Vlad just can't keep his mouth shut. So now I'm going to play the audio or from this back and forth or this conversation that he had with DL, with his stupid self. You know, DL is just an idiot. I'm sorry. He really is. He tries to act like he's so pro-black in some instances, you know, complain about police brutality and things like that. But at the end of the day, is he really? Is he really? Because I feel like no black person should be sitting on Vlad's platform, allowing him to feel that he can talk trash, instigate, keep up mess between black folk. And I've been telling you all this for years. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Okay, let's get into it.
Plus 30% of all future revenue from this interview. Right. Which I thought was completely ridiculous. Right. And I told him that. I remember I said, listen, Marlon, I would rather have you say that you don't fuck with me rather than give me this stupid ass number. Right. And I think that these numbers come from Shannon Sharp putting this out there. Well, I don't think it's he made $2 million off that. I guess 40,000 is not that big of a deal.
Marlon, in our talks, right? He hit me. And I don't know what the figure was. He's my favorite Wayne's. Like, so I remember.
Yeah, I thought Marlon was dope, which is why I reached out to him in the first place.
He's a dope dude. And two things I'll say. One, when my old man died, I'll never forget, he hit me. And he said, I don't play golf, but I know you do. And I'll play golf with you till you feel better. And it was the dopest thing ever. So Marlon hit me and asked me about you, and I said, you know, I fuck. So I can't really, I don't know what the financial constraints of anybody's dynamic is, nor do I ever ask. I talk to you because I fucking talk to you. Don't make me, never mind. But I do think that people now, because of not only that, but all these in the zeitgeist, there is this thing where people are trying, and I think rightfully so, to get what they believe is a fair share of whatever their, you know, whatever their images or likenesses or brand is. So I don't know what that would look like, but I do know that is a conversation people have a lot.
Look, I had to explain to Marlon that asking me for 40,000 plus 30% is the equivalent of me asking him to perform my comedy show for $100. That's the equivalent. That's the type of offer.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there because here's the thing. The bottom line is this. Okay, the bottom line is this. For one, Vlad has been messy and unprofessional, and the fact that he's sitting there gossiping about someone he invited on his show, now he wants to demonize them and criticize them and talk about Marlon's gay and all this crazy stuff that he's been saying. So, first of all, I wonder if the gay people are going to stop following him, because they absolutely should, because he's using that as an insult. Okay. And then Black people definitely need to stop following him, because he's always saying something disparaging about some Black person. Okay. And that amazes me how people like DL can be so obtuse to still go on there and still call Vlad his friend and all of that. Now, mind you, DL just sat there and admitted that when his father passed, Marlon called to try to help him get over it. Okay. Tried to help him during his time of grief. Did Vlad call him and try to help him during his time of grief? I'll guarantee you he didn't. Okay. I guarantee you he didn't. Anyway, let me go to this next clip. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. This is when he says the disparaging things about Club Shay. Okay. And you all are going to hear some noise in the background because, like I said, they're pressure washing outside. It's kind of noisy. Okay. I forgot they were coming. All right. So let's get back into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Never go on Club Shay. No. Okay. And you said something interesting. You said...
Now, I want you all to pay attention to how Vlad is real sneaky. Now, he sat there and brought up Club Shay because he was itching to get somebody on there who agrees with him and who hates on Shannon Sharpe just as much as he does. Please pay attention. Now, we know ever since the Cat Williams interview in January, Vlad has been hating, saying that Shannon lied about how much money he made. Why does he care? At the end of the day, he's making this a constant topic of his discussions. And he was so thrilled, I'm sure, that he had DL on the show because he already knows, as we all do, that DL has talked trash about Shannon Sharpe because Cat Williams called him out on the show as well.
Shannon Sharpe's interview with Cat Williams was predatory and messy, and it doesn't feel there's a fair example of relationships among Black comedians.
I don't think so at all. I think that like any other endeavor, there are jealousies, idiosyncrasies, there's all, but I don't think that's indicative of the experiences that most of us have. And I think that after the Cat Williams interview, which was a phenomenon, he kept trying to replicate it.
Oh, I bring another...
Shannon kept trying to replicate it. He kept trying to, let me bring on somebody else to have a beef and then do, like, it just got to be, like, I can understand it was a...
He said Shannon kept trying to replicate it and said, let me bring on somebody else who has a beef. Now, this is what he thinks. This isn't a fact, but this is what he's saying as he's assessing the situation, which is crazy to me. You know, it's really wild that he's sitting there. Now, when Vlad said predatory and messy, he was reading what DL posted about Club Shay. But at the end of the day, he's sitting there saying that Shannon tried to bring on someone else who has a beef. But Vlad brings people on that have beefs all the time. And then he asks them about the beef, trying to instigate. And then he sits there and further brings up a beef that he's having. Please make it all make sense.
But then all of a sudden, you tried to replicate it. So, to me, just like you love what you do, he love what he does. Mm-hmm. For me, as a matter of principle, it is too messy. Or now I think it's morphed into something else because I think that has kind of, that brook has run dry. But for me, it's just all of those people I saw on there were people who wanted to go on there because of what happened with Indisputed. And I've talked to you about it here before he even had that. With the way Skip did him, made me and a lot of Black people go, fuck this. We're going to make sure this brother's okay. But then you take that and the very people that got there first, I think were damaged by the first iteration of what went on. And it's for me, I would never do it.
Well, yeah, you said you never heard anyone say anything bad about Cedric the Entertainer. I never. Until the Cat Williams interview.
Yes. And I was glad it happened. Because I was so tired of nobody saying nothing bad about Cedric.
Take some of the seat.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there because this is just all so ridiculous. Let's have a word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes before I continue with the commentary.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so you can get your 12 Tribes hair oil on Etsy.com. Go to Lisa Kratz and also at Walmart.com. Okay, so now let's finish this up because I have another video starting right after this. Let me just drop the link in the chat. And also, don't you all forget that I'm going to be live at 6:15 today for a panel discussion. It's going to be me, Lisa Cabrera, True Royal, and Straight No Chaser with the Queen, Tina Berry. We're going to be on here to discuss Kabami and her minions, okay? So there's the link right there. And there was one more thing I wanted you all to hear. I don't remember why, but I put this in my notes. So let me just play this. This is also DL on Vlad. Likes up.
Radar is that far off. Your moral compass is that far off. Where in the span of a few years, you could go from Hitler to he should be president of the United States again. Then either we can't trust you because your judgment is that flawed, or you're a transactional tool.
The way J.D. Vance ran up on Kamala on the runway,
I think that's
basically said, I want to see what my future plane is going to
Right.
look like.
Right.
Was a little disrespectful.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hold on, you guys. Let me back up.
Although I understand all over every place that didn't have black people indigenously came from the slave trade. So we all have the same fight. I remember I used to go to Jamaica years ago, and they had Africa, Jamaica, and America on a T-shirt that said "One Blood." And I think that this fragmentation, although I understand the
Hold on, beloveds.
Black people from other countries who immigrated or their ancestors immigrated, because obviously Kamala was born in America.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you think about it,
But I
Obama's
understand.
not a foundational black American. His dad is African, is Nigerian.
I understand the art because we didn't call ourselves black, they did. We didn't tell ourselves. They told us who we were. They told us remember at one point in America, one drop of black blood made you black. And now the very people that made us black are telling us what black is.
Right.
So I can understand the argument. I don't buy into it. I don't agree with it. Because I think, if you look at the diaspora, they went all over. Every place that didn't have black people indigenously came from the slave trade. So we all have the same fight. I remember I used to go to Jamaica years ago, and they had Africa, Jamaica, and America on a T-shirt that said "One Blood." And I think that this fragmentation, although I understand the passion behind the argument, I think that we are one collective, and I think dividing us, it's like having a no peeing section in a pool. It's the I don't get,
You're gonna get pee on you. Someone
I don't
pees
get
in.
how I don't get how it
I get
works.
Now, in terms of vice presidents, there are some interesting things that have happened.
Sure.
Trump chose J.D. Vance.
Yes.
Now, Vance was originally a critic of Trump, even compared him to Hitler.
Sure. He said he was America. He could be America's Hitler. Yeah. He said he's never Trump guy. I mean, all of the what he was honest, and now he's transactional. What he was is honest. And if your estimation of somebody changes that whip snap, then either you're being bought or you're lying. If your radar is that far off, your moral compass is that far off, where in the span of a few years, you could go from Hitler to he should be president of the United States again, then either we can't trust you because your judgment is that flawed, or you're a transactional tool.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there because I want you all to pay attention to something. Okay, when he started talking, that's when I remembered why I saved that clip. Now, let me just tell you all something, honey. DL just told on himself. He literally just told on himself. Did you all hear what he said? He said that at first he was calling Trump Hitler, talking about Vance, okay? And he said, if you can just change that quick, and then be all for them. Of course, I'm paraphrasing. He said that just shows that either we can't trust you, right? Or you're just somebody who just says whatever. So that applies to DL because he was just talking greasy about Kabami. He was just talking greasy about Kabami, and now he's all for her and trying to force people, shame people, guilt people into voting for her. So didn't DL Hughley, in fact, do the exact same thing that JD Vance is? He's accusing JD Vance of. And furthermore, he said either you have, you can't be trusted, you're not honest, or you've been bought. He just admitted that he's been bought, as far as I'm concerned, like Dr. Umar said. Because he just said that if you do that, you've been bought or you're just dishonest. So which is it? Is DL dishonest or was DL bought? I have questions. He just exposed himself. And furthermore, he's also a hypocrite because he also said that, but Kabami did the same thing too. Remember how she said Joe Biden was a segregationist and she was a child at 9 years old who was a victim of being bused to a different area, and she talked about Joe being racist, and then all of a sudden, when she was picked as his running mate, oh, he's the best ever. We did it, Joe. So what he just said literally applies to him and Kabami. That's how stupid he is. You know, they always say you should think before you speak, and I guess he missed the memo, okay? I guess he missed the memo because he and Kabami have done the same thing that he now accuses JD Vance of. And then he even went as far as to say that either you were dishonest or you were bought. So which one was he? I'm willing to go with the latter. I think he was bought, okay? I think he was bought. And so anyway, at the end of the day, so Pharaoh says, girl, please, Trump gave democracy to over 237 individuals. I guess that's nothing to you boule gatekeepers. Well, these are absolutely boule gatekeepers. People like D.L. Hughley, Steve Harvey, Roland Martin. Those are the boule gatekeepers, beloved. They absolutely are. They absolutely are at the end of the day. And I'm not voting for Trump or Kabami. Okay, I'm voting for Dr. Shiva. All right. And so at the end of the day, this is all so crazy at the end of the day. Pharaoh says, TC Dan says, Pharaoh Zozer, who are you talking about? He's not talking about me, beloved. He's not talking about me. Queen Sam said, make it make sense. Okay, exactly. All right. That's what they can't do. That's what they can't do. Byron B said, Queen 2024. Thank you. All right, so anyway, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. But like I said, at this point, Vlad needs to definitely be canceled. What black person is going to be foolish enough to go in there after this? And DL needs to be canceled too. Because how's he sitting there with the enemy, okay, talking about another black man who's sitting there just spewing hate, who's sitting there just telling lies, who's just gossiping and being thoroughly unprofessional. Oh, and let me just show you all what some of the people posted in the comment section, okay? Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Let's see what some of the people said in the comment section. Someone said, DL is a clown. Talking about being messy while on Vlad is crazy. It absolutely is. I mean, that's wild. And then someone else says, so Club Shay is predatory and messy and Vlad TV not, huh? He couldn't wait to get somebody like DL on here to agree with him with this Shannon Sharp thing. Right, because Vlad is such a hater. Okay, and then someone says, so Vlad pocket watching and got upset, huh? And DL is sitting down with Vlad talking about messy and predatory. Self-awareness sliders on 0. Okay, so, you know, like I said, just idiotic at the end of the day. Just a whole fool, in my opinion. It is what it is. Okay? This is all so crazy. Nanny said, and sometimes DL makes sense. Then there's other times like this. Bithia said, black fools will go back to the money. They will sell their mama for $1. Yeah, exactly. Because Vlad pays them to come on there. So, you know, Steve Harvey already told us that money is not to be compared with your integrity, because he can't mess up his money for his integrity. And that's how a lot of black people obviously feel, at least the ones that are going on Vlad. All right. And so with that all been said, lights up, everyone. Please like and share on your way out. Don't forget that I'm live on the next channel. Okay, starting right after this. I love you all to life. Each one, teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hit him with that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got